who has no known co-morbs, who is a chronic smoker for past 25 years and occasional alcoholic, who was presented to hospital on June 2021 with complaints of cough and fever for 1 week, complaints of breathing difficulty for 4 days. There is history of nasal regurgitation of food particles. Sir, a chronic smoker, old aged patient coming with a cough for 1 week, breathing difficulty for 4 days, and with a history of nasal regurgitation of food particles. Any GERD causing aspiration, sir? Chronic aspiration.
Aspiration is a good thinking, but GERD, why should come through nose?
Nasal. Okay.
Okay, let's go to the history. So aspiration infection is a possibility.
Yes, sir.
If there is no history of regurgitation, it can be any chest infection.
Yes, sir. It can be COVID also.
And smoker always beginning of conditions like bronchiectasis and all. Okay.
Yes. So on examination,
these are the findings. Okay.
On examination, there is swelling locally, which is from medial canthus to the nasolabial fold. On right side, there is also a swelling inside cheek with multiple opening discharging putty-like thick material. On examination, respiratory system examination, there is bilateral coarse crepitation and wheeze was heard. Neurological examination, right eye, visual acuity was 4/24, 6/24. The RAPD present.
What is RAPD?
Sir, it's relative apparent pupillary defect, sir.
What does it mean to you?
Sir, it means that optic nerve is getting damaged. In the early stages only we can detect, sir.
And any other differential diagnosis for RAPD?
Optic neuritis, sir.
So anything connected with the optic nerve is okay.
Yes.
Any other anatomical site where you can get RAPD?
Sir,
retina disease cannot have RAPD.
Okay. Fundus examination, fundus is pale disc. There is complete ptosis.
So what will be a differential diagnosis for complete ptosis?
Yes, sir, third nerve palsy, sir.
Yes.
And any myasthenia and muscular disorders, neuromuscular junction disorders can also cause ptosis.
Junction disorders, yes.
Than that,
muscle disease?
Muscle disease, yes, sir.
Any local tumor or something that produces mechanical ptosis?
Yes, sir, it can happen, sir.
It can possible, okay. Yes.
There is mild proptosis and chemosis.
So which condition can produce this combination?
Proptosis, chemosis, ptosis, sir. Can be caused by any infection, sir.
Like?
Infections are like bacterial conjunctivitis.
Conjunctivitis by proptosis.
Involving the three layers of scleritis, uveitis.
Conjunctivitis, why should it produce ptosis?
Yes, sir.
Do you consider orbital cellulitis?
Yes, sir. Orbital cellulitis can cause proptosis.
Do you consider cavernous sinus thrombus?
Yes, sir. Cavernous sinus thrombosis can also cause ptosis. Proptosis.
Proptosis, okay. Proptosis, chemosis can occur in thyrotoxicals as well, no?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Horns.
And when you open the eyelid,
yes, sir.
What are you seeing?
There is restricted movements of extraocular muscles in all directions.
So which are the muscles involved?
In all directions, sir. So all muscles are involved, like medial rectus, lateral rectus.
3, 4, 6 nerves.
Yes, sir. All nerves are affected. So it means
all are affected. All muscles are affected. Yes.
Yes, sir. some cavernous sinus pathology.
Yes. Then
There is decreased sensation in right V1 and V2 distribution, sir.
patient's complaint is pain in the second division, but on examination, second division is anesthesia-like, and first division is dullness of sensation.
Okay, sir.
Dulling is present.
Dull sensation. Okay, sir. There is absent right corneal reflex.
So, what is inference of absent right corneal reflex?
Sir, it means that there is defect in the fifth or afferent or efferent pathway in the corneal reflex. It can be due to fifth nerve lesion or seventh nerve lesion, sir.
So, how do you differentiate?
Sir, if it is fifth nerve, there will be pupillary abnormalities won't be there. In seventh nerve, pupillary abnormalities won't be there, sir.
In fifth nerve?
Generally, it will be associated with pupil reflexes also, sir.
Fifth nerve?
Sorry, sir. That's third now. Sorry, sir.
Oh, okay. So, how will you test your fifth or
Seventh. Fifth nerve is supplying the facial part also. There will be decreased sensations in the other part supplied by fifth nerve, sir.
no? If it is a branch involvement, the other parts may not be affected. When you test the right conjunctiva,
Okay, sir.
both eyes are expected to close.
Okay, sir.
So, if the seventh nerve is affected,
Okay, sir.
you may not get the response on the same side, but opposite eye will blink.
Okay, sir.
But if that sensation is lost,
Okay, sir.
both sides will not blink.
Okay, sir.
That's why you can distinguish.
Okay, sir.
Then,
Element facial palsy in the right side.
okay, so in element facial palsy, what will happen to your eyelid?
Sir, eyelid will be ptosis, sir.
The seventh nerve palsy.
Seventh no, sir. It will be it won't close.
It won't close. Here it is
Yes.
complete ptosis. Okay.
Yes.
Then,
Uvula is deviated to the left side.
what's the inference?
Uvula deviated to the left side. Some bulb.
Which nerve, which muscle? Which nerve, which muscle?
Uvula. Don't remember stylopharyngeus. Glossopharyngeus.
In the uvula movement is by 10th nerve.
10th nerve.
So, 10th nerve is possibly affected, 7th is possibly affected, 3, 4, 6 are affected, and 5th nerve is affected.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
So, where is the lesion then?
Sir, could be in some part of pons, sir.
No, you said RAPD is there.
Yes, sir.
Then you localize in the optic nerve.
Yes, sir.
Then you described the 3, 4, 6 nerves.
Yes, sir.
Then you said first and second part of the 5th nerve.
Yes, sir.
Then you said 7th, and then you said 10th.
Yes, sir.
So, where can you put all these together?
All the entry points are into the skull.
Meaning thereby?
Sir?
So, where is the second cranial nerve coming into pons?
No, sir. Not in the pons, sir. Entry point into the skull, I'm saying.
Means what?
Common entry point. Maybe in the orbital. No, in the middle cranial process.
So, can it explain the 10th nerve and 7th nerve and first nerve, second cranial nerve, everything?
For the course, sir.
So, where will be the lesion to explain all the findings?
Cavernous sinus thrombosis will involve 3, 4, 5, sir. But other nerves won't be involved.
Yes, fifth will also be affected, no?
Yes, sir. But 10th and all.
10th will not be affected. You are right.
Yes, sir.
So one localization you are saying is 3, 4, 6.
Yes,
That
sir.
explain the proptosis
Yes,
and
sir.
the chemosis.
Yes, sir.
And what about second cranial nerve?
Second cranial nerve.
Okay, we'll move forward.
Only. Okay, sir.
Past history. So it's a long history here. So
Yes,
past
sir.
history, it started last July, 1 year now.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
There was headache since July 2020, which was in the right hemicranial region, which is of dull aching type, present throughout the day with nocturnal awakening. There was history of right eye tearing present. There was no history of photophobia, phonophobia, nausea, or vomiting. There was diminished vision in the right eye since August 2020, which was painful, insidious in onset, gradually progressive. Ophthalmology evaluation, senile immature right cataract of the eye was present. Patient underwent cataract surgery in October. After 3 days of surgery, he noticed double vision in October 2020. Binocular vision disappears with closing other eye.
No. Double vision was binocular.
Yes, sir.
What does it mean?
Disappears closing the other eye. So, sir, refractive error difference in both eyes, sir.
What is the difference between monocular diplopia and binocular diplopia?
Monocular diplopia occurs even with a single eye, sir.
That's right. Which condition?
Monocular diplopia.
It's a
Sir,
local
in
disease.
astigmatism, sir.
It's a local disease.
Yes, sir.
And when it is binocular diplopia, it is not local disease of the eye. It is something that affecting the nerves and muscles
Yes, sir.
or myoneural junction.
Okay, sir.
Yes.
Okay, sir.
Initially,
Images were horizontally separated. Later, vertical separation was also noted.
what is the difference between them?
Horizontally separation.
Horizontal separation takes place when the medial and lateral rectus muscles are affected. When obliques are affected, you may get vertical separation.
Okay, sir.
So medial and lateral rectus produces horizontal separation. Others produces vertical separation.
Okay, sir.
Here you notice that he underwent surgery.
Yes, sir.
And, is pain a common thing in simple cataract?
Pain, no, sir.
It is not. So it was something else also along with the cataract.
Yes, sir.
So maybe glaucoma or some same disease was going on at that time also.
Yes, sir. The cataract may be some incidental finding.
And cataract was operated, then double vision appeared. What's the reason for that? It is binocular diplopia. So when one eye was blind, he was not having diplopia.
Yes, sir.
Cataract was corrected.
Yes, sir.
Diplopia appeared. Can it be like that?
Yes, sir.
It can be. Okay. Then
There history of numbness present in the right side of face, upper lip, cheek, and forehead. There was drooping of right eyelid in December 2020. There was no history of hearing loss.
in July 2000, the headache. Then went for surgery, and October he has got a double vision, and December he has got drooping.
Drooping. There was no history of hearing loss, tinnitus, and facial deviation. There was no history of weakness of limbs, sensory disturbances. There was history of significant unintentional loss of weight and appetite was present.
So
Some,
this is the
sir,
picture of
some,
the patient.
sir?
This is the picture of the patient.
Yes, sir.
You can see complete ptosis,
Yes, sir.
and you can see that there is LM and facial palsy also.
Yes, sir.
Top picture, and there is a scar on the right side of the face. A
Yes,
biopsy from the local site was taken.
Okay, sir.
He has got nasogastric tube,
Yes,
and
sir.
when he says "ah," you can see one side is uvula is moving to the left, and only right palate is contracting.
Yes, sir.
Can you see that?
Right palate contraction, I'm not able to notice, sir.
You see that this.
Yes, sir. It is upward. It is not visible in the picture.
Okay. So one side is palate is paralyzed, and there is
Yes,
a
sir.
facial palsy
Yes.
also.
Yes, sir. Localization. Sir, any metastatic disease?
That is one possibility. But last July to this July, is it possible to have metastasis like this without other symptoms like vomiting, rise in intracranial pressure?
Less likely, sir.
So what else it can be? First of all, before we think about etiology, we have to think about the anatomy.
Yes. Sir,
Very-
only cranial nerves are getting involved. Maybe some like cranial nerve neuropathy.
That is one possibility. Why the neuropathy should be on one side alone?
Yes, sir. Okay.
Neuropathy is possible.
Okay, sir.
So, can you comment like this?
Yes, sir. Orbital apex can involve second nerve. Cavernous sinus.
It is very close to cavernous sinus, no?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Both are close. And
So-
petrous bone has
Petrous bone is very close to.
cavernous. Yes, sir.
Okay, it can be the seventh,
Yeah.
and jugular foramen in 10th. So,
Yes.
can be something like this.
Yes, sir.
So,
Yes, sir.
what can be the cause affecting all these areas alone?
So some nasopharyngeal carcinoma compressing the petrous, that bones and rupturing, sir.
Nasopharyngeal carcinoma. Investigations were done. Blood
Okay.
investigation normal.
The CTPNS was feature suggestive of chronic sinusitis. DNA was done. Biopsy was suggestive of inflammatory pathologies. There was no granuloma or fungal lesions were noted.
See, when you do CT scan, commonly you can see nasopharyngeal carcinoma, no?
Yes, sir. Histopathology report, macroscopy, received single linear gray white tissue piece measuring 1.5 centimeter length. Microscopy, section studied shows tissue lined by ciliated columnar epithelium. Lamina propria shows inflammatory cells such as lymphocytes, neutrophils and loose connective tissue. There was no granuloma or fungal lesion noted. Impression, features are in favor of inflammatory pathology. Treatment, patient was given IV methylprednisolone pulsing and was discharged on antibiotics, steroids and other supportive measures. Initially showed improvement, steroids tapered and started recurring symptoms and fungal culture was negative.
So you have given methylprednisolone because
Yes,
it's
sir.
only inflammatory,
Yes,
and
sir.
it was given steroids, antibiotics. This all happened in another hospital.
Yes, sir. It's happened in 2020 only, sir.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
So this, okay.
MRI brain. MRI brain was done. Impression was right orbital apex soft tissue thickening, enhancement with extension into the tendinous insertion of extraocular muscles, right optic nerve sheath, and right paracavernous region as described. Features suggestive of inflammatory etiology, orbital pseudotumor or Tolosa-Hunt syndrome to be considered. Bilateral ethmoidal and sphenoidal sinusitis. Grade 2 Fajeca small visual ischemia.
So paracavernous region is described.
Yes, sir.
Orbital apex is affected.
Yes, sir.
Optic nerve is affected, and they're
Yes, sir.
suggesting inflammatory pathology.
Yes, sir.
And they are telling about Tolosa-Hunt syndrome. What is that?
Sir, Tolosa-Hunt syndrome is like inflammatory pathology of cavernous sinus, sir, where 3, 4, 6 nerves are involved. There will be ophthalmoplegia with headache.
It also affects the superior orbital fissure and orbital apex, three structures.
Okay, sir.
Orbital apex, superior orbital fissure and cavernous sinus. So chronic disease, inflammatory pathology. It
Okay,
has
sir.
to be diagnosed by exclusion of other conditions.
Yes, sir.
And ideally, the histopathology has to be granuloma,
Yes, sir.
and they come with a severe unilateral headache,
Yes, sir.
with orbital pain,
Okay, sir.
extraocular palsies, and exact cause of this condition is not known. They
Okay.
usually respond to steroid. This patient did not respond.
Yes, sir. He has relapsed. Possibilities. Sir, still patient's history being a chronic smoker with the history of weight loss and all, still some malignancy has to be ruled out.
Okay, that's one possibility is there. So can you consider infective pathology, inflammatory pathology other than neoplastic?
Sir, inflammatory pathology less likely, sir, because you have given the steroids, still the patient has recurred.
That's true. So can you give an example of inflammatory pathology?
Sir, this one, sir, tolosohan,
IgG4 disease.
IgG4 disease, sarcoidosis.
Okay. Infective pathology?
Infective pathology less likely, sir, because after starting steroids, patient improved initially, then patient recurred. Had it been infective, there would have been no improvement.
Blood in vessels otherwise normal.
Course of the disease. He was started on empirical ATT because of loss of weight, loss of appetite, MON2 positivity, ES are greater than 100, negative tumor workup with CT thorax, abdomen, negative for fungal elements in the biopsy. Patient was followed up after 1 month. There was no improvement, rather developed new symptoms. There was difficulty in chewing food, manipulating food in mouth, feel stuck sensation in mouth, so he changed his diet from solid to semi-solid liquid diets, which he was able to swallow without regurgitation or choking. He also developed slurring of speech, deviation of angle of mouth to left side, and drooling of saliva and pooling of secretions. There was no history of hearing loss or tinnitus. There was no history of seizures, cognitive decline, or behavioral problems. There was no weakness, stiffness, incoordination, or instability of any limbs. There was no sensory disturbance.
So
New neurological findings.
these are the new neurological developments he had.
Yes, sir.
So
Right element facial palsy, right side palate arch movements reduced, uvula shifted to left side. So base of the skull lesion, something.
okay, we'll think something in the base of the skull. So you can imagine orbital apex, and
Yes.
here we have a cavernous sinus.
Yes, sir.
Look at the connections of cavernous sinus. These are
Yes.
two cavernous. Can you see the arrow?
Yes, sir, I can see.
You can see the cursor moving, eh?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So here this is a cavernous sinus. It has got connection with the jugular foramen,
Yes, sir.
which can explain.
Okay.
Tension.
Tension out.
And he has got a connection with the superior petrosal sinus.
Yes, sir.
Can you see? It goes
Yes, sir.
to the petrous bone.
Yes, sir.
So you can have seventh nerve here.
Yes, sir.
You can have 3, 4, 6 nerve,
Yes, sir.
and you can have 3, 4, and division 1 and 2 of the fifth nerve also.
Yes.
Sixth nerve also can be affected.
Yes, sir.
And this is connected to the apex of the orbit.
Yes, sir. Second nerve.
So this may be something going along these sinus tracts.
Yes, sir.
So what can you think? Which is going through these vessels?
Yes. Thrombus, sir.
Let us move forward.
What is the
So-
final diagnosis?
So anatomically we have localized here.
Yes, sir.
Functionally we have gone to these anatomical structures.
Yes, sir.
Etiologically you are thinking some infection or inflammation
Okay, sir.
moving on the vessels, and what's the pathology? So
Repeat MRI brain. There was increase in lesion with diffuse thickening and enhancement in bilateral cavernous sinus and paracavernous or paracellular region, especially on the right side, with diffuse mucosal thickening and contrast enhancement noted in sphenoid sinus and petroclival region. PET CT scan was done. Hypermetabolic soft tissue lesion in the right orbit and sinus with extensions possibly into sinonasal and orbital mucormycosis with skull base osteomyelitis. To consider malignant etiology as differential diagnosis, there was no evidence of active disease elsewhere.
The previous biopsy was negative for fungus.
Yes, sir.
It is negative for malignant cells also.
Yes, sir. Biopsy of cheek with nasal vestibule reported as below.
That is what they suture you saw, no? On the face, on the right side.
Yes, sir. That was done already, no, sir.
That was done only at this juncture.
Okay, sir.
The first description of the patient in 2000 was all done in another hospital.
Okay, sir.
This picture is of late he came to us.
Okay, sir.
And the picture was taken after the biopsy. That's why it came like that.
Okay, sir.
This was the last procedure done.
Okay, sir.
The photos were taken only after that. So that's why it came like this. Okay.
Okay, sir.
This is the picture.
Okay, sir. Shall I read the microscopy part, sir?
No, please.
Microscopy of the specimen shows fragments of skin with difference show multiple epidermal cysts and focal sebaceous hyperplasia. Some of the cysts are ruptured with keratin flakes extending out and into the deeper tissue with a chronic inflammatory reaction. Similar to areas of necrosis is present with one necrotic fragment showing fragmented fungal hyphae. Hyphae are broad with irregular narrow areas. Fungal hyphae are pauciseptate or aseptate. Impression: the epidermal cyst with rupture and inflammation. In addition to features in B shows necrosis with fungi morphologically resembling mucorales.
So what is the final diagnosis come?
So final diagnosis: the patient is infected with mucormycosis. So probably it is, as it is involving the cranial nerves also, it is rhinocerebral mucormycosis presenting as multiple cranial nerve palsies.
So rhinocerebral presentation is one presentation of mucormycosis. Any other anatomical structure can be affected?
With mucormycosis, sir?
Yes.
Maxilla and
Pulmonary is the second site.
Pulmonary, sir.
So what is mucormycosis basically?
Sir, it is a invasive fungal infection.
Where does it invade?
It invades the sinus, sir.
Angio-invasive. It invades the blood vessels.
Okay, sir.
So it blocks the blood vessels and produces infarction of infected tissue.
Okay.
And that's the hallmark of the disease.
Okay, sir.
That can explain the pattern seen here with the spread along the veins.
Okay, sir.
So you can see that it's a fungus, and usually mucormycosis produces a scar in the palate or on the skin, which was not seen in this patient. That's quite atypical of it.
Yes, sir.
So you have to think whether it could be aspergillus, but there are a couple of differences between aspergillus and the mucor.
Okay, sir.
Can you say any difference?
Clinically, sir.
No. Under the microscope and microbiologically?
Septate hyphae. Mucor is aseptate, sir.
Usually. So as described here,
Yes.
rare septations, and aspergillus got many septations. Any other?
Branching, sir.
Irregular branching is characteristic of mucor, and regular branching is characteristic of aspergillus. And mucor is hyphae is very broad,
Okay, sir.
and aspergillus hyphae is very narrow.
Okay, sir.
So what are the common predisposing factors for? Have you ever seen mucor, and what was scenario?
Sir, post-COVID, I've seen, sir.
Before that, before COVID came, what was it?
Before that, I've never seen, sir.
A common problem is diabetes.
Yes, sir.
They come with ketoacidosis.
Yes, sir.
So diabetic ketoacidosis is a situation where you find that there's elevated concentration of free iron in the tissues
Yes, sir.
and acidic pH, and that's a fertile soil for the
Mucor to
mucor. So iron overload situations. Other
yes,
predispositive condition is one is diabetes, one is diabetic ketoacidosis. Steroid taking patients.
yes, sir.
Patients who are having investigation treatment for hematological neoplasias.
Okay, sir.
Transplant patients.
Okay, sir.
Solid organ transplant patients.
Mm.
And any scenario where there is iron overload.
Yes, sir.
Retroviral infections. The terminal stage of AIDS.
Okay, sir.
Those who are abusing drugs intravenously.
Okay, sir.
Rarely with trauma or burns.
Okay, sir.
And of course with malnutrition.
Okay, sir.
These are the 1 dozen predisposed factors are there. But commonly we do see only when you have diabetes. But of late we have started seeing in the scenario of COVID patients.
Yes, sir.
So commonly it affects the nose and sinuses,
Yes, sir.
and subsequently it is spread to all other sinuses, spreads to cartilage and so on, palate, orbit, and from there it goes to the brain.
Okay, sir.
So possibly the thickened mucosa of the sinuses seen in this patient was
Yes.
all beginning of the mucormycosis.
Okay, sir.
So the hallmark of the disease is palate eschar, which was not seen.
Yes.
Destruction of turbinate
Definitely.
and perinasal swelling, which was present in this case
Yes,
with
sir.
erythema, but the overlying skin was not cyanosed, and this black necrotic tissue was not seen.
Yes.
So only thing was there is a soft tissue swelling without any other features of a eschar.
Yes.
Only biopsy could help us to give the diagnosis. Whenever the orbit is affected, what symptoms and signs will come?
Sir, ophthalmoplegia and decreased vision problems.
And proptosis.
Problems.
And how do you explain the facial numbness?
Because of fifth nose.
Infarction, actually the infarction of the branches of the fifth nerve.
Fifth nose.
And why do you get a cavernous sinus involvement?
Cavernous sinus involvement.
The involvement of sphenoid sinus.
Minutes. Okay, sir.
Rarely it can affect the internal carotid artery also. How?
It will pass below the jugular foramen, sir.
Okay. Internal carotid artery is situated inside the cavernous sinus, no?
Yes, sir. It will pass. It will take a turn inside.
So, this mucor have got enzyme ketone reductase,
Okay, sir.
which allows the mucor to thrive. High
Yes, sir.
glucose acidic environment is the best place for them.
Okay, sir.
And ketoacidosis, iron is also increased.
Okay.
So that's how it comes. And what will be the ideal treatment for them?
Debridement and followed by IV amphotericin B, sir.
What type of amphotericin?
Preferably liposomal because it has less side effects.
So this is a very rare situation.
Yes.
Mucormycosis, commonly it is black eschar is a clue to diagnose, but it is not here.
Yes.
This case is discussed because of the interest of the
Multiple
neurological manifestation, how to localize the RAPD,
Yes,
how
sir.
to localize 3, 4, 6 nerve,
Yes, sir.
then how to connect with the 7th nerve and 10th nerve.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So everything was affected on one side
Yes.
and the duration was very long. That was the points in favor of infection or inflammation rather than neoplasia.
Yes.
Any doubt, Bana?
Sir, this patient had COVID, sir.
No. He did not have COVID.
Sir, usually there will be discharge and all, no, sir, black color discharge.
That's right. So black color discharge is necrotic tissue.
Yes.
Maybe some necrosis going inside, but skin was not necrosed. Even at the beginning of swelling, we took the biopsy.
Yes, sir.
So there was not adequate time for it to produce. But the long duration means that it was there for since last June.
Yes, sir.
Maybe he suffered some COVID which nobody detected.
Okay. Okay, sir.
That's also possible.
Okay.
Not a non-COVID anyway.
Not in. Okay.
Any other?
That's it, sir.
How do you find the case?
It was very difficult, sir. Anatomy and all I have to read again. Cranial loss.
3, 4, 6 nerves
Yes.
combination. There are a lot of differential diagnoses
Yes, sir.
other than cavernous sinus,
Yes, sir.
So anyway, it's a unilateral disease,
Okay, sir.
and it's a very good, interesting, long case actually. A lot of things to discuss, and
Yes.
what all the findings are told to you, it's easy for you.
Yes, sir.
But when you have to elicit yourself,
Yes, sir. It will be very difficult.
it will be very difficult.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Bana, for participating. Very nice.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you so
I,
much, sir.
I hope it's all useful for you,
Yes, sir. Very useful, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.